This is another example of a pretty simple approach to applying a texture to an image. Just layering two photos, one on top of the other using a blending mode. Let me show you where I started from. This was let me turn off this overlay. This was the original model photo that as I got from a stock photo agency. And then I used this texture that I overlaid with it, and I'm going to set this at normal at 100% opacity so we can see just the texture. This came from French Kiss Textures, and I kind of liked it. I thought that it was amazing how the purple from the two different images perfectly complemented each other, I thought. And so I just changed this to a multiply blending mode. And if I turn that back on, you'll see what my starting point was. And I'm liking it pretty much from the beginning, except the thing that I don't like is this writing on her face. So I set about trying to remove that. I tried to do it with a layer mask, and I've got my brush here, and I've got 50% opacity, and I've got black. So if I start, let me increase the brush size. If I start painting, I'm removing the writing, but I'm also completely removing, well, not completely, but I'm removing the texture and the coloring of it, and her face is becoming very much brighter. And if I keep going, it becomes very bright and completely changes the effect of this overlay. And in fact, I found that I would have to completely eliminate the mask from her face in order to completely remove the writing, and that ended up with an effect that I didn't care for. So I took another approach. What I did was I simply in this version of the background, I simply cloned out the writing. So let me turn off the rest of it. I'll turn up the opacity, change it to normal mode. You can see what I did. Simply used the clone stamp tool to replace the texture in the areas of her face with uh, just using the background texture instead of to overwrite the writing. So that's really all I had to do. I got rid of the writing, I changed the mode to overlay, and I reduced the overall opacity. Where you end up here is kind of subjective. It depends on what you like. But somewhere I thought in the 60 to 80% range was a nice effect and a very simple one to create.